Welcome to a brand new Five Heart Podcast live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We're your hosts. I'm Greg Mahochko. That's Minnie Hunt. Minnie, how are you doing?
Minnie Hunt. Hello, everyone.
Sorry.
You're fine. It's okay, Greg. Guess what? I have to say hi. Jackson Johnson is here. He does a show for Alabama, and he came over.
Oh, I was wondering who Jackson Johnson was.
Yeah. So welcome, Jackson. Glad to see you here. And everybody else.
And
you too, Greg.
Thank you. Pitt is saying hello to the next generation of Gladys Knight's backup singers. Remember Gladys Knight and the Pips?
Mm-hmm.
So Pitt is saying hi to the Pipples.
That's nice. Oh, that's right. Highlander's from Alabama, too.
Well, we like Highlander because he's
You know what? Tonight, I say we talk with an Alabama accent. They have the nicest accent.
I couldn't differentiate an Alabama accent from a Mississippi accent, from a Georgia accent, from anything in the South.
It's the nicest one. That and Tennessee. I love Tennessee accents.
I'll just put me a little more y'alls in there, and I reckon we'll be all right.
There you go.
I don't know. I couldn't keep it up for the entire show because I'll forget.
It's okay.
It is what I do. Fred says, Greg, don't show us your pipples.
Hi, Fred.
Probably won't.
He might. You never know.
I say probably. So anything's possible.
Okay. Trinidad's here too.
Sorry.
And never mind me. Okay. Honestly, I love seeing all these people here. It just feels like home. It feels like a group of friends all together.
Raji says third is the best, but on my list, I have him as first. So, and a special shout out to Mr. Raj because he says hit the like button.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Raji.
Roger Moore is here tonight. So, yeah, a lot of the usual suspects.
All right. Roll call. Greg, are you up on what is going on with the NCAA?
No, but I have to say this comment by Roger is hilarious. He says a new Pope was selected faster than Shadur Sanders in the draft. That's true. Pope was taken on day 2. So,
yeah.
That was good.
That is good.
Thank you. What am I up to speed with everything that's going on with the NCAA? Not 100%. I'm excited to hear all the exciting updates.
It feels like this is the never-ending story.
That's a good movie.
It is great. A great movie. Very underrated from the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
Was it 80s?
Yep.
I mean, what would life have been like in the 80s without that movie? The Flying Dog?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that a flying dog?
Yeah, Falcor. The Luck Dragon.
But of course you would remember that. Yeah, that was good.
And of course there's Atreyu in the Swamp of Sadness where he loses the horse, which just broke an entire generation.
Yeah. Atreyu. Okay.
Who's here? Living in Omaha. David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast.
Hello.
Aaron Keene says, here we are. He's welcome back, Mr. Keene. And Raji, you can tell, is a younger lad. Never seen it.
Well, I don't know if it would hold as much magic today as it did back then.
Yeah, I think the first viewing really has to be when you're in your single digits.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Next time the boys are over, I'm going to be like, we're watching Never Ending Story.
I tried that with my kids. It didn't work.
it's not flashy enough. It does not enough animated. They don't understand the beauty of practical effects.
Yeah, well, they also don't watch the Huskers, so they have terrible taste.
Brett says the last couple of decades, or few decades, have been the swamp of sorrows. Oh, yeah.
No, not necessarily. There have been some bright spots. Right, guys?
And we'll get to them. Our taxes. Nothing was as depressing or as demoralizing as watching our tax sink into the. Anyway, what's going on? NCAA. It is the saga that goes on forever.
Yep, it is. And the thing that gets me is, okay, the NCAA attorneys come back and they're like, okay, here's the wording that you asked for. Grandfathering in all these other athletes, even the ones that may have been let go. We're going to let them come back, right? And new schools. If there's a new school that is a part of this, we're going to grandfather the school in. We're grandfathering everybody in.
Right.
And then the attorneys for, I'm guessing the students, athletes, are like, it still overlooks some people. Not good enough. We're going to have a problem here. Yeah.
I applaud the effort, I suppose. It's one of the, I think we're well into the territory now of you can make some of the people happy all the time, all the people happy some of the time, but you're never going to make all the people happy all of the time.
Oh my gosh, Greg. Could that be condensed?
You've never heard that?
I have, before? But I feel like you expanded it. You like drew it out some. No?
I didn't. I said it the way it's always been said.
Okay.
No. So at some point, a decision is just going to have to be made, and some people are going to be on the outside looking in. Yeah. And that's just. And we were talking about this in our production meeting. Husker Chuck says the school that cut a bunch of players are saying, don't.
Yeah.
But there are potentially provisions, and if we're reading the same.
Come on back and earn your spot back. Right. Who's going to do that?
I mean, the problem is we're running out of runway. At some point, kids are going to be tied to whatever the next school is. Even if it's a lower division school or a group of whatever school, I mean, they're going to be settled in there, and they're not going to want to come back to whatever power program is, they got cut from. So,
yes. Pitt says that I have vodka in my tumbler. This is not vodka. But
he also says it's going down Tantai. So
I know what he meant. I can translate Pitt. Okay. I'm like a professional Pitt translator.
There you go. Google Translate for Pitt.
Tonight. Yesterday. This is the thing. Okay. I have to just, not that anyone cares, but I had to go to Walgreens yesterday. And I'm standing in line for one thing. Okay. I was out of milk. I hate just having to go to the grocery store for milk. It just happened to be one of those things you forgot, right? No, you put your hand down.
I was going to say, can't you get milk at the convenience store?
Walgreens is so much easier.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like it.
Yes.
If there's a story involved.
It is. So I'm standing in line with my milk, okay? And I'm like looking over my shoulder. I'm like, wait a minute. They have an end cap full of wines and champagnes on sale, like clearance. There were so many bottles of wine for like $4, $5. They had like $80.
I gotta go get the card
for $30. Yes. So I did. I went and got my card. I've never bought so much wine in my life. I'm just like, but this is not wine. This is not. either.
Husker Chuck says it was a sign, Minnie.
It was a sign. It said, buy me, because I'll come in useful.
And the voice of college football, Mark, is here and says the clearance booze is the best booze, especially during recent Nebraska football seasons.
Yep. You
Because
never
you know you
know
got to
when
get
you're
it in
gonna
bulk.
need it. Which reminds me, Greg, are you drinking anything tonight? Do you have any tests tomorrow?
No, but I flunked the test last week, so I'm just drinking water tonight.
You failed again.
I passed a lot of them. My bad cholesterol, surprise, is a little high, and for whatever reason, my blood sugar was just barely out of the normal range. So I'm just drinking water tonight, and
The other Dave wants to know, he lives in Arizona, where's this Walgreens? I would assume that they're doing it at all Walgreens, because I'm pretty sure I bought out mine, but you're welcome to check. It's at 32nd Street in Shea. There you go.
And that's in Arizona.
Yeah.
But look at your free. You know what I would advise? Like Minnie said, try your local Walgreens first. And it might save you a drive. Or, it's kind of like in Illinois, our gas prices are outrageous because we like to tax everything to the extreme. So on occasion, when I'm in Missouri, I'll pick up, I'll fill up on gas in Missouri. But I'm not making special trips because it's not worth it. So you may save a few bucks per bottle by driving to 32nd and Shea. But if you got to drive 14 hours to get there, it may not save you in the long run.
It's true. Yeah. Or maybe I could just buy some. Maybe I should resell it. I can make a profit. I just am realizing this.
I'm also thinking you need a license to do that. So let's not have Minnie from the Slammer next week for selling liquor without a license.
I'll do it for you the other Dave, but nobody else. Okay.
And there was one comment here.
It was Tony.
Now we're bootlegging.
Tony says $4 sounds like a wino's paradise. I felt like I couldn't resist. I mean, that's $4. I can't even, I have my 5-gallon things of water.
Mm-hmm.
Those cost like $3 to fill up.
And they're not nearly as fun to drink as the one.
You have to drink those, but
yeah,
you're right.
It is a good thing that the alcohol was on sale, because as Never Mind Me says, Walgreens milk is way too expensive. And it says, if you mean the gas station by the convenience store, Greg, that milk never tastes right. I'll go to the grocery store simply for a gallon of milk. So
it's true. Yes, he knows. I've done that. I've actually bought milk at a convenience store like that and brought it home, open it, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? And I look at it, it's expired.
Oh, you got to check the date before you buy it. That one's on you.
Who checks the date on the milk? Of course you do. Never mind.
I used to work in a grocery store. Got to rotate the stock.
Yeah, I guess you just shove it to the convenience store.
I'll tell you what, though, with my boys and their recent addiction to cereal, like we'll go through a gallon of milk in 3-4 days.
That's me easy. I love cereal. I love cereal. I love cereal because it's the easiest thing in the whole wide world to make.
Go-to cereal? Do you go healthy or do you go sugary?
Greg, do you really have to ask?
Yeah.
Okay, I go healthy.
But I don't want like Kashi go lean.
No. And it has to have fiber, and I put protein milk in my cereal. I know. It's not even that enjoyable, to be honest.
We've been doing, I say we, not me, but the boys have been doing Fruit Loops with marshmallows and Oreo Puffs cereal.
Yeah, that's the way. That's the life right there.
And I've been doing Honey Bunches of Oats, because I'm old.
Yeah, I have nothing to say about that.
Post Raisin Bran. You know what? I'm not going to read all that bit. I'll let that one be enjoyed just by Raisin Bran's good. We'll just put Raisin Bran's good.
Here's the thing. Tony is in the chat, and I promised him a little Wisconsin jabs. Okay, I was going to save it for Monday night, but on Monday night, guess what, Greg? I have a very special guest.
Who?
I'm not going to tell you. You
Okay.
just have to tune in. But
now wait a minute. Before we get talking about Tony and Wisconsin jabs, I have a theory. More people will tune in if they know who your special guest is.
Well, I'm going to make a little teaser.
Okay.
So just get ready for that.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's exciting. You guys may not think it's exciting. Whatever. Okay. Wisconsin. This season, this is who they have to play. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, remember the Wisconsin team that we're dealing with. They have a new offensive coordinator. Hopefully, he does what Luke Fickell wants him to do. Because we all know what happens if you don't. You get dismissed, and Luke Fickell feels like anybody can just take over your job, including him. He's like, I called plays when I was in 7th grade. Remember that conversation he had?
Yes.
Pretty good. So their first game is against Alabama.
Oh.
I know. And then at Alabama.
Oh.
Second game, Maryland. Their third game's against Michigan.
Oh.
Iowa. Thank you. I was waiting for your response. Then Iowa. Then Ohio State. Then at Oregon. Then Washington. Then at Indiana. Then Illinois. Then at Minnesota. I think they have the worst schedule that I've ever seen. Michigan has like the easiest schedule I've seen.
Yeah.
But Wisconsin, I think they could actually lose every single game.
No, they still have to play Iowa and Illinois.
Well, Illinois is, and Iowa somehow squeaks it out.
Why don't Wisconsin Badgers use the internet during games, Minnie?
Why?
Because they can't find the W key.
Greg, did you just think of that joke yourself?
Nope. When we're preparing to take our shots at Wisconsin, I went to ChatGPT and said, tell me some funny jokes about Wisconsin Badgers football.
Well, at least you're honest.
What do you call a Badger with a championship ring?
Are we going to do this really?
Yeah, just a couple more.
Okay, what?
A thief from the 1942 equipment room. And last but not least, and then we'll move on. How many Badgers does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
None. They just sit in the dark and blame Michigan.
That's actually a good one.
You can thank ChatGPT.
That was pretty good.
Our friends in artificial intelligence.
Yes. I love AI. It's my favorite. Okay. Greg.
Yes.
NCAA, any thoughts? Okay, never mind.
Well,
maybe you should ask ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, what are my thoughts on? No, as I'm sure student athletes are, coaches, etc., across the country, just make a damn decision so we can actually go forward. Is it the players who are nitpicking the everything? Is it the judge who's being too particular in the wording? I mean, it sounded like the way it was drafted and submitted seemed pretty clear. Like, I guess I don't know what magic phrase that this judge is looking for to be able to sign off on this thing, but just like with most sagas, I'm kind of ready for it to be over. So just
Yeah.
let's go. We're into the off season. The transfer portal is closing. I don't know.
Yes.
So, I mean, how are you going to even implement, a restocking of the shelves if
grandfather? Everything's grandfathered. Oh, it's
So-
it's like our border used to be.
No, but
Never mind. I'm not trying to get political. Just come on in.
But if you have kids who are enrolled at another school, like how do you reach out to them and say, hey, we can
Apparently,
bring you back? I mean, I don't know.
It hasn't started yet, so yeah.
Oh.
Okay. I love this. Oh, Roger Moore. NCAA. National Communists Against Athletes. I mean, that's what they kind of have become.
Some big words there, Roger. I didn't understand them all.
There's only one word that's bigger than what you normally use. Communists?
How limited do you think that my wow.
Greg, I haven't heard you use too many big words.
No, I've got a pretty good vocabulary.
Okay. We'll trust you.
Thank you. I'm no troglodyte. I try not to be too egregious.
Ooh. What was that word that somebody used the other night? Catamite?
Yeah, we don't bring that one. Wasn't that you that used that word?
I did not. That was not me. It was like Ken. It was somebody in chat called the buffaloes the catamites.
Yeah, and then you called me that. That's what it was.
All right.
All
right. So
I do have one additional story while we're talking about the NCAA, and I don't know if you saw this, but it came across the wire yesterday. No, I guess it was
look at this word.
Ago. Huh?
Fred is wowing us with his vocabulary.
Thank you, Fred.
Go ahead, say it.
Perspicacious? Perspicacious. Are you doubting me? Are you frozen? Am I frozen? What the hell is going on? All right, you in the comments, if you can see this and hear me, indicate in the comments which one of us is frozen. I think it's Minnie. Minnie is frozen. Very good. Thank you, Fred. Husker checks as Minnie is frozen, but it's not a bad look. Yeah, it's not a weird face, Yep. Greg is animated. Thank you. Perspicacious, I'll admit, wasn't very familiar with the word perspicacious, but I'm going to start working it in more. Having a ready insight into and understanding of things. So, Mew. I'm not going to tell you something, Justin. So anyway, we'll take your comments, questions while you wait. A tumbleweed hit her Wi-Fi antenna. That I was going to say maybe one of the kids picked up the phone and kicked her off the dial-up. I don't know. She's back.
I'm back. My internet has been going out, and I have no idea why. It was like perfect for months. I think I got a little too cocky with my internet.
Aaron Keene blames the tumbleweed that hit your Wi-Fi antenna.
You know what? It has been windy here lately. Could be.
Pitt wants to know about them Steelers.
We're not talking about them Steelers.
Fine.
Okay? Especially because it's not even the NFL going on right now.
I mean, technically, college football is not going on right now either.
It just ended. There's still stuff we have to wrap up. And
I
there's
mean,
still stuff going on. I mean, the NCAA,
the
Michigan stuff.
Oh, yep.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to that stuff,
yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. This is actually, I didn't realize it at the time. It's about a week-old story, but Kentucky, did you hear what their athletic department did?
I think so. Refresh my memory.
They changed their athletic department to an LLC.
Yes, I heard that. Oh my gosh.
The creation of Champions Blue LLC was approved, I guess, right at the end of April by the university's board of trustees, and it's seen as a way for Kentucky to become more nimble in finding new revenue. So, again, money's driving everything. This is actually a surprisingly short article, but I don't know if that might be the first. That might set a precedent. We might see other.
They should have done this already. And Fred Sacco says, "Is it LL Cool J? Is that what they meant?"
No, LLC. I'm just surprised that Kentucky was the first one to do it, because typically you don't think of Kentucky being very smart.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Greg?
People from Kentucky aren't very smart.
Let me tell you something. Obviously, they know a thing or two about money, because weren't they also the first to tack on an additional fee to the ticket price for NIL?
That was Tennessee.
Oh, it was. Well, they're kind of right next to each other.
No, they're more on top of one another.
Maybe they share a brain.
That's scary. Troy V says, champions in Kentucky football just seem like two words that don't go together. The jumbo shrimp of college football lingo. You're right. A little bit
Hello,
of a
Troy.
oxymoron.
Look at this. Oh my gosh. So nice to see you. I have to say, okay, a couple of these people have come on over from, guess where? The Voice of College Football. Yeah. It's so nice to see you guys.
Fred says that all the SEC teams look alike to Minnie, just like Pacific Islanders. That one's going to probably get us banned.
Polynesian.
Can you read this one, Minnie?
Kentucky is the 6th. Tennessee is the 9th. Husker Chuck.
Shameful.
My. I can't believe your mom didn't wash your mouth out with soap for that one.
I mean, he didn't say it. He typed it, so all he really has to do is go wash his hands.
Better go wash your hands, Husker Chuck.
It's not your fault, Fred. It's not your fault at all.
All right, Greg.
Yes. Do we want to talk Michigan now?
I think we need to.
Okay.
I think because, I mean, I've let loose a little bit on the Michigan thing every once in a while, and I've pissed a couple people off. Michiganders. That's what they call themselves. I just found that out tonight.
Before we jump across to Michigan, can we have another Wisconsin joke, please?
Last one.
You say that, but I don't have to listen.
No, last one, Greg.
What's the difference between a Badger fan and a puppy?
Puppies are cute.
Try again, or just say, I don't know, Greg. What is the difference between a Badger fan and a puppy?
Okay, what?
Eventually, the puppy grows up and stops whining.
Greg, I don't know if that was worth stopping the show where we were going. We're talking about football.
Tony says it was.
Okay.
And we're here to make the people happy.
Okay. Michigan. Do you have any Michigander jokes? Michigan.
I can get you some.
No. Listen. What we need to know. Okay, Fred Sacco. Somebody's actually talking about. I thought he was actually going to be talking about Michigan, but he wants to talk about Blue Chew instead. Greg.
What?
All right, come on. Give us
What?
your opinion. What do you think about the self-imposed 2-game suspension where it's not the first and second game, it's the third and fourth game, which is not the norm, and it is against Nebraska?
That's a really great question. And the only reason I'm delaying is I'm going to actually see what their first 2 games of the season are.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Oklahoma and I had it written down. I forget who. Somebody that's not important. Central Michigan
New
and
Mexico
New
and
Mexico.
Oklahoma.
New Mexico's their first one. Oklahoma's the second one. They go to Oklahoma. Then they play us in Central Michigan.
Correct. I would say in a world, I guess, where you can give yourself a self-imposed ban and you can select what games you want, I think it's more important to have your head coach for the first 2 games than games 3 and 4.
The whole point of the first couple of games is that they're not supposed to be too hard, right? But the fact that now, I mean, what they would really like to do is like do maybe the second and fourth game. You can't do that.
For the ban?
Yeah, because
you would say the first and the third game, right? Wouldn't you rather have your coach on the sideline for Oklahoma than New Mexico?
Yes. Is it Oklahoma first?
No, New Mexico's first and then Oklahoma.
That's what I said.
No, I thought you said have the ban on the second and the fourth game.
Oh, you know what I meant.
Apparently not, because we're having this conversation.
Greg,
it's
you New know Mexico, what I meant.
New Mexico, Oklahoma, Central Michigan, Nebraska, and then after that it matters less because it doesn't affect Nebraska.
Yes. Yes.
So again, I think.
Yeah, and he is from Oklahoma. He played there. You're right, Tony.
And
the other Dave gets the whole point. It's disrespect, all in caps. That's yelling.
I don't think he's yelling.
It is. What do you think it means? Have you ever gotten a text from somebody that does all in text and all in caps? They're yelling at you.
but sometimes it all depends on context, right? I mean, sometimes I just think he's trying to get our attention. We see you the other day. We acknowledge you. That's going to be very limited reference to most people. I agree mostly with Roger Moore here that says the suspension is meaningless. Look, if you're going to punish yourself, you can pick and choose.
I know
what games you want. And again, I say it's more important to have your head coach out there for the first 2 games of the season. Where you're maybe again just for the cohesiveness, and then you can, I don't know, slough off or whatever for games 3 and 4. Do I feel disrespected? I don't care, because it doesn't matter when this is all self-imposed. It's not like it's the NCAA coming in and issuing this ban and making the university adhere to their ruling. This is Michigan slapping themselves on the wrist before anybody else can. That's all it is.
You know what's really funny about this thing?
What's up?
Michiganders are pissed off that the Board of Regents and the AD would allow this to happen, would basically throw him under the bus and allow this to happen. Delusional?
This is all from the previous regime.
No, this is because Sharon Moore, this is what they said. Sharon Moore deleted 52 texts from Mr. Stallions the day that he found out, that they're being investigated. 52 texts. Kind of a lot. Why would you,
that's a whole conversation.
52 texts, Greg.
Yeah. Like I said, that's a whole conversation.
And then some.
Right. I mean, just who's to know what was said, what was discussed in that? I mean, it's all speculation, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast, says suspension or not? Are we beating Michigan this year or what? I'm gonna throw that or what out there.
I was going to say I didn't see that in the initial.
What do you think?
I mean, it's not August. It's a little early for.
Get on board.
But yes.
Yes. Don't apologize for them.
I didn't apologize for them.
Okay, good.
Brett also says Michiganders sounds like geese who got their necks wrong. I was going to say, if it's good for the Michigoose, it's good for the Michigander.
Mm-hmm. Pitt brought up a good point on Monday, and he said, "What?
Did he?
He did.
All right, let's hear it.
He said, I don't even care anymore. I just want to stop hearing about this. I'm done. I want it to be over."
Which part? Michigan,
the whole thing.
Yeah.
He goes, I can't believe this isn't even solved yet. It's because the NCAA takes forever to do anything. We knew this was going to take forever. They have to get the FBI involved. They have to do every single kind of investigation, talk to everyone. Weren't they like taking computers out of the athletic department? Like the whole shebang. Question everyone.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to one question. Are they or are they not going to strip Michigan of their national championship from that year?
They won't.
And they won't. So, again, it's all posturing. It's all for optics and appearance and making it look like either the university or the NCAA is doing the right thing. But so little is going to come out of this. Like, you really want to punish Michigan? Make their head coach sit out the game with Ohio State. Like have there be some stakes involved, not Central Michigan and not a road game at Nebraska, which has, I don't know, underperformed for the last 2 decades. It just there's nothing on the line for Michigan at all.
Right. Well said, Greg.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. If we have given that its proper due.
I think so.
Okay, good. Good deal. There was also some other news that we didn't talk about earlier this week, and that is that Troy Dannon got appointed to the college football selection committee.
Hello. I didn't even know there was an opening available.
Yeah, they kind of rotate people. They don't keep them on there forever, which is good, right? It's not like the Supreme Court.
Well, I was going to say,
until you die.
I might be, if I was waiting for the call from the NCAA selection committee, I might be waiting as long as Shedeur Sanders was waiting to be drafted. So, you know what? I have enough faith in Troy Dannon to, like, it'd be great for him to be like, all right, Nebraska's can't put him as number 1. See, that's a little too obvious, but we can sneak him in there at number 8. But it's. I like the fact that if Nebraska is competitive, we have a voice on our side on the inside. You know
what I like about this? One thing that is so Nebraskan. I mean, it should be on the license plate. Troy Dannon is thought of as that honest and fair of an AD involved with Nebraska sports that they want him on the selection committee. I was impressed with that. And I think that just speaks to all Nebraskans and what they hold dear.
I think, by and large, from, if we just look at the geography of the state of Nebraska, obviously there's the more metro sides, Lincoln and Omaha. You got the ranch land, but I think at our core, Nebraska fans from all walks of life are, and again, we have obviously a lot of non-Nebraska fans watching tonight, and we welcome them all. And so this is definitely going to sound like a homer statement, but it's that certain level of integrity that we value,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, I just as I put it on the license plate, in Troy we trust, and let's see if the football team can earn a seat at the table.
Justin Raji says, you know what AD isn't on the committee? And I have a feeling he means the other T four-letter name that we don't speak anymore.
Trev Alberts?
You already said that.
Oh. Is there another
yes,
one that
you're
I'm
right. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
I didn't realize it was like Voldemort. I can't say his name.
Yeah. Okay, Greg. You got a little excited about answering that question.
I was ready.
It's like the Wheel of Fortune, or no, Family Feud. You're like this. You're like Trev Alberts. I got it. Do we want to take this one?
I appreciate that Troy appreciates what I said about Troy.
Yes.
That's right. James Boardman is correct. Will Shields was on the committee last year. The Nebraska great.
Okay.
It sounds like a perfect time, unless there's more in the Troy Dannon world to talk about. But Husker Chuck's comment seems like a very smooth transition into our next topic. Got to give Trev a little credit for the 92,000 volleyball match. And while there may not have been 92,000, the Husker women did invade central Nebraska this week and play a spring game in Ord, of all places.
Ord, Nebraska. I had to look it up.
Never it's there.
Ord, O-R-D.
Yeah.
Did you tell me when you are on the phone with customer service, that's usually from another country, and you say, okay, what's your city that you live in? Ord, and they're like, can you spell that? What is that? O-R-D. I guarantee you have to spell that 3-letter word every time with them. Ord.
I don't.
It just doesn't sound like a real name of a.
Well, neither does Phoenix.
Yeah, but Phoenix.
I don't know. Belleville. It's but that's
great.
Means
that sounds like a town. The Ville.
Okay.
Ord,
Nebraska. Valley County, and it's 2,100 residents, and I guarantee you they were standing room only, hanging from the rafters to watch Nebraska volleyball compete this week. I love that.
There's a funk.
Hmm?
There's a funk, Nebraska. That's another one you have to spell. Where do you live? Did you just say the F word? You live in the F word?
I wonder. I'll tell you what. If the town song of Funk, Nebraska isn't Funky Town, we're doing it all wrong.
So what was really cool is that this particular game was against South Dakota, but it sold out in 27 minutes.
Well, yeah, there's not a whole lot to do in Ord.
27 minutes? So Herbert Murray, I love me some Herbert Murray.
Yes, you do.
She gave away 3 of her tickets to 3 young girls that probably would not have been able to go to the game. Yeah.
Why not, Minnie?
Well, because it was sold out.
Oh.
Or, because maybe they couldn't afford it. I don't know. The reason I didn't ask, I don't think anybody wants to know. But anyways, they wouldn't have had the opportunity to go. That was the explanation. So that was pretty awesome. Harper Murray also got proposed to by a little 9-year-old boy. He held up his son. He said,
I thought you said by Heinrich Harburg.
Will you marry me? It was so cute. But so she wasn't a starter. They had, oh my gosh, Greg, they have some major players. There's one girl, I swear her wingspan must be 7 feet. Easy.
Do you know her name?
I do. Give me 1 second. I have notes on this. I don't have them up, but I will tell you in just 1 second.
Well, I can tell you while you're looking that up that Nebraska swept South Dakota State. There were, all right, again, according to Wikipedia, take it with a grain of salt, 2,112 people in the latest Ord census. There were 1,750 people at Ord High School Saturday for this match. Harper Murray, and again, they did sweep South Dakota State 25-18, 25-19, 25-17, 25-19 again. Harper Murray, 12 kills, 7 digs, 5 blocks, 2 aces. I think it's pretty evident who DBK is going to be relying on. And certainly Harper has proven herself. She's a tremendous leader on and off the court. Andy Jackson, 11 kills, 10 blocks. Rebecca Alec, 8 kills, 9 blocks. Taraya Sigler, it was 6 kills, 4 digs. Skylar Pierce, 6 kills, 3 blocks. Taylor Landfair, 5 kills, 4 blocks. Campbell Flynn, I think maybe this might have surprised a lot of people.
This is the girl right here.
Okay.
This girl is incredible. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, tell me more.
No, you tell me.
Okay.
All I know is I'm like, who the heck is number 4?
She was the setter for the entire match. 44 assists, 8 digs, 4 kills, 4 blocks.
That's the one that I'm like, her arms are so long. It's like she has to be a volleyball player. It's like the only thing that she, it's just the perfect body for it. These girls are so tall. They're 6'3". They're your height.
Yeah.
There's one girl that's 6'5" on our team.
Is that Becca Alec?
No.
I feel like she's tall.
Nope. I'm trying to remember her name. She's so cute. She had 2 little French braids.
Let's see. Height. Of course, it's reverse height. Taylor Landfair, 6'5".
Taylor Landfair.
Becca Alec, 6'4", so I was close. Taylor
Landfair. She is a giant. And what is she, a freshman or a sophomore?
Senior.
Nuh-uh.
Okay. Yeah, it says.
Why have I not seen her before?
Well, first of all, I think she's only been with Nebraska for 1 year because she transferred from Minnesota.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, she's so tall. These girls are really good. I'm so excited about this year. And then we have our tiny little girls, our midgets.
I don't think you can call them that.
How tall are they? Lainey Choboy and Maisie Boziger.
5'3" and 5'6" respectively.
So. Oh, why did they look so short? They're actually taller than me. I thought they.
Honestly, because they're standing next to the players who are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5".
That could be it. I'm like, huh? I could have played volleyball. Who knew?
Yeah, let's see. Vince Watson says Bergen Riley was hurt. And, there's a rotation because Laney and Maisie both saw some action on Saturday in that match against we know that Coach is going to settle on one libero. We just don't know who that is. The good news is Maisie's a senior. Carrie Leinbach is a freshman. Lainey Choboy is a junior, and Olivia Mock is a sophomore. I think Mock probably had the most
That's who.
experience last year after Lexi Rodriguez. I don't know that for sure. There's a tremendous volleyball writer that we have at coordination.com, Beth, and I'm sure she knows all the details and the matches and minutes played and everything else. But at the what I like, there's so much familiarity. We lost, some players. Now they're playing in Omaha or Atlanta. They're playing professional volleyball, which is tremendous. But with Taylor, with Rebecca, Andy Jackson, Taraya Sigler, who's a freshman, by the way, from Scottsdale, an outside hitter.
Who?
If I'm saying it right, and I may not be, but Taraya Sigler, a 6'3" freshman from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yes.
And again, Harper Murray, who has shown her mettle more than once. I think it's going to be another opportunity for Nebraska to make a deep postseason run.
Yeah. It was really exciting to watch. It was like on YouTube, but it was on like some sort of Asian channel on YouTube. It was weird. I know.
Weird.
But it was the only way I think that you could
Are you sure you were watching Nebraska volleyball?
I'm positive. It was really good. And it just so happened that it was DBK's 40th birthday on Monday. And she's welcoming. I'm like, middle age is kind of catching up to her, is what I'm thinking, watching her. And luckily, they said, oh, yeah, she's going to be having a baby either this week or next week. I'm like, oh, gosh.
You said the thing you're not supposed to say.
She's pregnant. Well, trust me, when I was pregnant, I went out to eat, and this waiter asked me my name, and I said, it's Minnie. And he looks at me, he goes, you're not so Minnie anymore, are you? I lost it. My eyes just started swelling up with tears. How could he say that to me?
Then he should know better. Tony, our Minnesota friend, wants to know, is the new coach under pressure in year one?
Which one?
I would imagine DBK.
Oh, she's going to be fine.
I would say there's an expectation. Nebraska is a volleyball state, but she comes with a remarkable pedigree, and she's from Nebraska. There's just a bucket of goodwill. So I don't necessarily think she's going to be under pressure. And if for whatever reason, I still expect Nebraska to finish top third of the conference, if not higher, top four in the conference, or in the top fourth, I should say, of the conference. All the pieces are there. It's just, lather, rinse, repeat, I would think. And John Cook's not really gone anywhere. He's not, he's retired.
He was at the game.
Yeah, he's still making his presence felt. So
it's just really exciting. I think we have more to look forward to this season. I honestly think they could get a national championship. I really do. They are so good. They are so good. So we got to get Beth on here to talk more about volleyball when, it's the season, but it's so good.
I want to say Nebraska, I think, may have been in line or a possibility of getting transfer Kennedy Martin, but she did commit to Penn State. So, that Penn State's going to be Penn State again, and it's good to see them back near the top. They were down for a couple of years. So, look, Big Ten volleyball is continues to be Big Ten volleyball. It is the premier conference for the sport, and Nebraska is one of the top ambassadors in that regard. So just keep.
It's just such a fun sport to watch. And it moves fast. It moves quickly. That's what I like about it. Unlike baseball. Doesn't move quick enough for me.
Baseball is just like Nebraska. It's not for everyone.
Really? You think that should be a tagline for Nebraska? I don't.
It was their tagline.
When? Never mind. You have to gradle something. Never mind.
It's their tourism slogan from 2019.
Are you freaking kidding me? Why would they put that's a horrible slogan.
It says Nebraska tourism slogan, Nebraska, honestly, it's not for everyone.
Are you?
Because it was the good life.
I would fire that person.
Okay, so full disclosure, that slogan did get retired in February of 24, but it's still around for 5 years.
That is the world's worst slogan.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
It's not for everyone. A select few. Hey, come on, follow me. That is dumb. Yes, dumb.
That 1970s child says, I love baseball, but I'm not a life in the fast lane type. There you go. I can go to a baseball game and just lock in and enjoy the sport. I love it. I don't like the pitch clock. I don't like anything that they do to speed it up for these kids today who have an attention span of a flea. Give me baseball, damn it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm old in setting my ways.
We already know. Greg, there was something really amazing that took place last week that we did not touch on. A week and a half ago now. Almost 2 weeks.
Okay, what's up?
Because we didn't know it. We didn't see it. Nobody showed us. We didn't see it until Bussin' with the Boys, Will Compton and Taylor Lewin were at Nebraska for the Husker games, and we got to see what that looked like behind the scenes, right? Their version was pretty entertaining. It was a lot more entertaining than anything else I saw from the Husker games. In particular, I always get goosebumps when I see the tunnel walk. I don't care when,
I'm the same.
Who, how it happens. If the tunnel walk is going on, goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's like, you hear the national anthem, you have to stop and, pay your respects. Same thing with the tunnel walk. It's like, I get goosebumps and I just pause because I love that. But Will Compton's pregame speech was a freaking home run. It was beautiful because the game itself, the Husker game, the game against Red and Black, where Matt Rule told us that they were going to be playing second and third string guys that probably will be using this film to show another school. Will Compton said, all right, we're in the third day of the NFL draft. Does anyone here know where I got drafted? And everyone's like, yeah, first round, second round. Everyone's like guessing. He says, I wasn't drafted. And in fact, I've been cut 3 times. I've been on a practice squad. I've been a backup. I've been a starter. I've been a captain. And he just goes into this litany of all the stuff that, you just have to have that mindset of no matter what, you're putting your best foot forward. And even the guys that are starters on the team need to show up with enthusiasm for the sport. It was just amazing. It seriously, when I heard it, I thought, this is what 5 Heart Podcast is all about.
right. It is. So it's about not it's not about I don't want to say, like, it's not about what other people think of you, but just going out and giving your best all the time. And now, granted, Five Heart Podcast is not always giving its best over the years, but it that's where the name comes from, is not necessarily glorifying the 5-star kids, but the kids who give the 5 heart effort, who the ones that Will was talking to, the ones who getting something on film to hopefully better their situation next year, even if it means at another school. Just that's something special about that.
So I wrote down the entire speech. It's 4 pages long in my handwriting. Okay.
Did you like transcribe that, like by hitting play and rewind a million times?
I'm old school that way. That's how we used to do it back in the day. Whenever you'd hear a song on the radio.
But isn't there a way to just like take the link and throw it somewhere and say, "Hey, can you transcribe this for me, please?"
Not that I'm aware. No.
Okay. I would have tried Googling it personally, but
Greg, I just like to listen to it anyways and hear it over and over again. This is my favorite part. Ready? We don't get to determine the cost of our opportunity.
Wait, hold on.
No. Okay, wait. Okay. Okay, guys. All right, guys.
Let's go.
Ready? We don't get to determine the cost of our opportunity, but we owe our opportunity everything while expecting nothing in return.
Can we get one more take of that?
Okay. We don't get to determine the cost of our opportunity, but we owe our opportunity everything while expecting nothing in return. And then he says, respect what's going on the field. Okay. I think that's it. I mean, okay. I didn't actually plan to do this. I just wanted to kind of go through it a little bit. He talks a lot about basically being the guy that whatever the role is, you got to be able to do it to the Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It'd be like a regional Emmy.
Here's my Emmy. I'll take it.
Maybe a daytime Emmy.
Mm-hmm. Nobody can play a football coach like me.
It's true, but Will Compton is not a football coach.
He was for the day.
He was a football motivator. Yeah. Vince wants to know, no facial hair?
I can't do his facial hair. It's like stubble. It doesn't really count. Yeah, you have a goatee. I could do yours.
I mean, I have stubble.
Maybe I will do yours one day.
What have I possibly ever said that's worthy of the 5-Heart Theater?
What have you not said? This would be a good one. Okay.
Marginally terrified.
Will Compton gave me more of an insight into his psyche, what he's been through. And I love that he was there to help the guys that are on the second and third, string rosters, as well as the guys that are starters. Because he's like, look, if you already got a spot, you got to show that you deserve that. You got to show that you deserve to be a leader. Because when the bullets are flying, this is what he says. When the bullets, like you're going to war, when the bullets are flying, your teammates need to know they can count on you.
Yep.
Some pretty heavy stuff.
All true.
I love it.
Now, Will's great at I mean, his passion is, I'd say even for just Nebraska football is, I don't unmatched. I mean, I love that he's kind of become the unofficial official hype man for home games.
Yeah.
And I think that started very organically, which made it more refreshing. It just from whatever reels or I don't know, TikToks or YouTube videos, whatever it was that he just made and put out there, and then the university took notice of it and brought him in. So by the time we got to last year, they were polished productions, that I'm sure he flew in or recorded wherever, and but they looked good and they were damn motivating. They were damn motivating, a lot of those videos. So
he's the best. I love it. He reminds me of my older brother, just really raw, lets the F word fly every other sentence. And especially the comment where he said to the guys, and they're laughing at this. What did he say? Something about, oh, your piece of ass is probably in the stands waiting for you after. And all the guys are like, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so like something my older brother would say. It's just like, I don't know. There's no holding back.
Right.
It is what it is. And I kind of like that.
It's kind of, unpolished, a little refreshing. It's raw, it's real. It's yeah, maybe uncensored is not the right word. But it's just more in your face than I think what many Nebraska fans are used to.
I think Fred's teasing me.
You think?
I think he is.
I'm a little surprised that you highlighted that one, if I'm being honest.
I didn't say it. I just laughed at it.
All right. Fred. Interesting chat here. So Carl says over under Satterfield fired after game 6. And before we answer that, Pitt says he expects our tight ends to be great. So maybe Sat can stay.
Sat can stay.
You are shaking your head in agreement. You think that the tight ends are going to be a strong position for Nebraska this year?
Absolutely. I do. I think that Sat is doing everything within his power to make that position group great. And he is willing to learn from Daniel Holgorsen, whatever he wants to teach him. So there's no better, like, to me, when you get to this level of, you're getting paid millions of dollars to coach, to be open-minded to other people's ideas and to be still moldable. You have your core, but you're still moldable. That says a lot. And it seems to me like that is what Sat is. It takes a big person to be like that.
Yeah, I think, easiest way to say that is he's putting his ego aside, and he did that from the very beginning when Dana came on board. And it's like, I'm here to help him, understand the lingo and blend things out and to learn. Just
Ken E brings up a good point. He says Sat gets the money even if he's fired. So yeah, why would you ever? There's no point.
I mean, I can't even think of there's not a scenario that runs through my mind where it's beneficial to drop him midway through the season.
Nope. So. Either. Good call, Greg.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see.
Roger Moore, seriously, we have some real jaded people in the chat.
Well, let me ask you this, Roger. You're working for a company and you're upper management, and let's say you're underperforming at your job. They could fire you, or they could just, they're already paying you the money, might as well keep you on the staff. And if they fire you, they have to still pay you. Are you going to quit? His option is to quit and then not get the money. So, financially speaking, like, I'm not the greatest financial mind, but I'll stay on staff because I love what I do. And it still has the opportunity to improve myself, and I'll make $1.2 million in the process. So, I getting the checks. We all got bills to pay, man.
Got bills to pay.
Like, shit ain't getting cheaper out there.
That's right. Greg, thank you for that explanation and question. I found it interesting that the chat has something else going on over here. Never mind me, says Pitt. These chats are calm, but if you get on Cageonomics streams, we get wild in there. Laugh out loud. And then Pitt goes, I'll watch for it. Never mind me. And then Never mind me says, Pitt, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend. Just don't repeat anything I say because I don't want to get banned from my Husker channels. Laugh out loud. What is going on over there? I think I better go find out.
Cageonomics.
I will be checking that out.
Now, Carl has a follow-up because he says, why was Frosty fired 4 games into 2023? Well, my understanding, again, I wasn't there, is that a booster came through with the extra $7.5 million or whatever to buy him out early because the train was off the rails at that point. It's different when you're the guy in charge than when you're, for lack of a better term, an assistant coach or an underling. All the heat was on Scott Frost. The heat's not on Matt Rule. The heat was on Marcus Satterfield. So they made the adjustment. They brought in Dana Holgorsen, and they did it not initially as the offensive coordinators, just things just progressed that quickly. And because Marcus Satterfield was the offensive coordinator / tight ends coach, they just took away the offensive coordinator responsibilities and still allowed him to keep. Is he the most overcompensated tight ends coach in the country? Yes. I'm not arguing that at all, but you can't change that right now. I think Frost and Satterfield, you're comparing apples to Buicks. They're just two completely different scenarios.
They are. You're right. But on that same note, there's a couple of people that have some good comments. And Ken E says, I've been fired, downsized, etc. Hell, they moved a lot of our business already to India, and AI has been in my profession for years. And then Fred Sacco says, I'm jaded because I've been laid off, let go, even as a top performer. Here we have Sat, who sucked, got demoted in responsibility, but still gets the big money nonsense. And I think the lesson here for all of us, you guys, is don't go to work without a contract. Because that's the key. If you have a contract, they have to pay you.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. And that's, I feel for our friends who've been in those spots. But again, we're not equating the same. Those situations. I know people who've been fired from their jobs just because they could bring somebody in fresh out of school and pay them less. shitty situations happen. And you know, I feel for him. Like, I've been fired before. Now, my firing when I was fired, that was solely on me. Nobody to blame but Greg Minnie.
I'm so surprised.
Why?
Nothing. Keep going.
Okay. No, I'm curious. Why?
You said when you got fired, it was solely on you.
Yeah, it was completely my fault.
Yeah.
I own that.
And I was being sarcastic, Greg.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. Not everybody.
Greg, stop. Okay.
No, I mean, it sucks. Like, when you lose the job, you lose the security that comes with it. Man, the situations are just different, you know, and I don't know. I can't say Marcus Satterfield failed upwards. He failed downwards, but he gets to keep the check. I mean, Minnie hit the nail on the head because of the contract. You know,
Yeah.
if they cut him outright, they still have to pay.
I don't care. You know what? Here's the real issue. Marcus Satterfield is looking at this going, all right, man, that sucked. I peaked and I didn't even know it. I mean, he didn't even really get to experience it because we weren't winning games. That's as good as it is going to get. That's a horrible feeling. And he has to live with that.
Who's to say he's peaked? I mean, we don't know.
All of chat.
Okay, but he could. Again, I mean, we've said before, he has the ability now to learn from Dana Holgorsen.
That's what. Yeah, you gotta take your lemons and make lemonade.
He's in a role now that's probably not too big for him, so he has the ability to get better. And if the tight ends take off, you know, and I'm not going to say that he's peaked. You know, I don't think that's fair to him. He's still a young guy, you know, as far as coaches are concerned. That's, you know, I'm not ready to close the book on Marcus Satterfield.
You're right. I mean, to be fair, there's been a lot of coaches fired, hired, fired, hired. It's just the way it works.
Well,
but he had better prove himself as a tight ends coach if he is going to have any kind of future in this.
Kaylee's here says if Heinrich Harbor goes off and is drafted in the top 4 rounds, I mean, that shows
that says a lot.
Marcus Satterfield. So
you are 100% right. And boy, do I hope that happens. I hope it happens for Heinrich and Harper and their future Husker babies. And I hope it happens for Coach Satterfield.
I mean, I hope it happens for Dana Holgorsen, and I hope it happens with Heinrich as a quarterback.
I hope it happens for us.
You didn't realize it.
I heard you. I'm ignoring that. As Husker fans, okay? We all want the same thing.
Carl Pence completely disagrees with me and says Satterfield should have been fired immediately following the Illinois loss.
Jeez, Carl Pence.
Okay.
Carl Pence could be John.
No, John would just walk in here like John in his bathrobe.
Yeah, he could be. You know, John's kind of toned it down with his hardcore history channel.
No.
He's like, he pulls his hair back. He wears like a sweater vest.
No, he's that because he's almost like Professor John Dam Johnston.
He speaks with a very almost like a monotone voice. Not the same John we know. Okay.
No, we need to get him up after dark then.
This is another version of John that we have not seen.
Never Mind Me wants to know, how is John? John's pretty well overwhelmed with work. at the moment. When you're in IT and everything runs on computers, and technology likes to fail. When I was selling cars years back, I had mechanics who hated the advancement in technologies, like more stuff in there, just more stuff to go wrong. Give me some, machine from the 1970s where I can just get in there and work on stuff without having to hook a computer up to it. Anyway, I digress. He's just tired kind of all the time.
John's fine. He should retire, but he won't.
I don't even know if he's. I mean, I've always joked about his age, but I don't even know if he's old enough to retire.
He's not even that old.
That's what I'm saying.
He's only 64. I mean, he could retire, but he's only 64.
But he's not at full retirement age, so he won't get that full Social Security.
Yeah.
Unless he has a pension or a 401k to help buffer those transition years in early retirement. Because, hey, when you think about it, your retirement is broken down in 3 stages. When you first retire.
All right, Greg. Nobody's listening now.
Okay, cool.
Ken E says you have to write, because we know what your job is. Kenny says you have to write a new resume for every job to hit on the keywords in the ad. That's true. And 1970s Child says, yeah, I'm finding that out about the keywords. Haha. Everything's about the keywords, you guys. Even what we do. Right, Greg? You can speak now.
Yeah, it's all about SEO, search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Kind of sad.
Pitt says, had a cousin 67 Cougar in the driveway doing an engine swap and holding down 2 jobs. I needed the friggin' cap, and I had a dozen in my drawer. At least you got it, buddy. At least you got it. I'm assuming.
Wait, what?
Braska Rascal wants to know if we can ship Satterfield off to UCF and go hang out with Frost. I mean, they were not on the coaching staff together. Like, Satterfield was a Matt Rule hire. So, no. Let him. We're still judging the tight ends coach with the offensive coordinator title. Let's see how he does just as the tight ends coach for a season before we decide if we're going to ship him anywhere.
Let's do that. It's fair. Very fair, Greg.
Carl wants to know, on a brighter note, could you two get Herbie Husker and Lil Red on the program?
I can.
I mean, the only reason I say this is I've never heard either of them speak, and this is, somewhat of an audio. I mean, unless we gave them a dry erase board and or flashcards and said answer or ask them only yes or no questions.
Yeah, and their hands don't really move either. They don't go one way.
And that whole Lil Red bouncing on his head thing, that freaks me out. So I can do without that.
Are you afraid he's going to break his neck or something?
No, because it's inflatable.
Well, why does it freak you out then?
Because it's not supposed to be upside down. First of all, I don't like Lil Red.
Do not. It's so cute.
Because I'm not a child.
Yeah, well, it's so cute. It's for the kids. Love him. I think he's cute.
So Carl, I don't know. I mean, we'd have to reach out to the university. The university's never returned any of my emails, so I don't really know.
Have you ever tried to reach out to them?
Yeah, I years back in the early times, we tried to reach out to people in the media department to see if we could get various individuals on the show, and don't have that John Johnston swag to,
All right. Well, shoot.
Oh, here we go. That I keep saying that 90s, but 1970s Child says, Minnie, do you need a 15-time award-winning writer and photographer on coordination? Newspaper I worked for just closed down. Send
Whoa.
send an email to coordination@gmail.com. And if you want to write for coordination.com,
I'll hire you.
well, never
I'm
mind.
running the show these days.
I mean, I was just made for the website, but
yeah,
I didn't know.
No.
Tell you what, if you like zero compensation, you can write for the Five Heart Theater.
Greg, do not give my job away.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Never mind. That offer is no longer on the table.
Thank you.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we were talking about things that happened when you started mentioning busting with the boys and what happened at the Husker games. Fred says, yeah, Dylan threw a ball through a hoop. Way better than the 90s run. Oh, because you were saying that there was something that was very exciting. And you make it sound like the greatest thing that had happened to Nebraska in our lifetime.
Well, I mean, I just liked the speech because it's the first time that we actually did a game around second and third string, around backups, you guys. And then I didn't know that about Will Compton. I loved it. I loved how it was all tied together.
No, and like I said, it what Will said spoke not just to the Huskers on, who were there, who heard it live, but he talked about being a starter, being a captain, being undrafted, being on the scout team, all this in the NFL, all the various roles that he has played. And these guys are playing those roles or have in their careers to some capacity. So I think at the end of the day, the message was about being a team player. And then whatever role you're given, if you're put on a scout team, be the best damn scout team.
It's just not the way of people don't like that. They have something in mind, and if they don't make it, they're like, nope, I'm not doing that. Here's a perfect example. My 16-year-old daughter has wasted her little life away playing soccer. She's no good at soccer.
You say she's no good at soccer?
No, she sucked at soccer. Somebody somewhere along the line told her that she was a good soccer player. And so she's been playing soccer her whole life. Club soccer, soccer in school, any soccer that's available, and it has ruined my life. But I'm there to support her, never feeding her lies. So this year she said, okay, I'm done with soccer. And she said, I'm going to now try out for cheer. I'm like, that sounds fun. Good for you. She's going to be a junior in high school. I'm like, that sounds so great. Never done cheer before. Tryouts are Saturday. And she looks like she's going to, she's a pretty good little cheerleader. Adorable. And has all the moves just perfect and, smiling and loud and fun. But it's not exactly her personality. She's not like, very outgoing. And I'm like, honey, you're going to do fine. You're going to do great. And she goes, if I don't make varsity, I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, wait, what? You haven't even done cheer before. Like, what is this expectation level? That's what she needs to hear, is stuff like this. I mean, I just don't get it. To me, it's like, either if you say you're going to do something, you do it, and you do it to the best of your ability. And I don't care if it means you're sweeping the floors as a cheerleader, like, you do it. And that, hopefully I'll teach her. We'll see.
That's what I'm saying is, if you're getting put on a scout, and from what Will Compton was saying is, if you get put on a scout team, then be the best damn person on the scout team to where they cannot overlook you. They have to be the Jacob Bowers, right? of the
Yes.
scout team and earn that spot. So
Yeah. I love that. Ooh. Kaylee. She says either your first or your last. Sometimes, like my dad used to say, sometimes you eat the bear and sometimes the bear eats you.
Or like Mary Chapin Carpenter saying, sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're the bug. Josh is trying to understand the concept of varsity and JV cheer. He says, I went to a Class D2 school. The years we had cheerleaders, there were 3 max, and they didn't go to wrestling meets.
Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. Yeah, they do. They have, I guess, they have JV and varsity. So, yeah.
And he wants to know if glasses can be further down my nose. They can.
Yeah, because they drive me crazy. I have given up on them.
I'm out of contacts. I got to go back to the eye doctor next week. And
I've given up on Greg and helping him. It is what it is. He's gonna revert back to his old ways soon enough. What?
Yep. I'm this close to giving myself a haircut.
Yep. And then you're done for. There's no hope for you.
There's not much hope for me to begin with. Let's see. Carl Penn says, okay, Minnie, you need to start learning your Husker all-time greats. Quiz. What Husker legend wore number 20?
20 would be a running back, maybe? Oh, you're looking it up. You Greggled it. You cheater, Peter.
I'll help you out. I'll help narrow it down.
Okay.
You won a Heisman. Nobody help her. Don't look at the comments.
Oh, I'm guessing. Yeah. Johnny Rogers?
Did you say Kenny Rogers?
No.
My hearing's going out too.
Final answer, Johnny Rogers.
It was the Jet. Or as Josh says, the Jet, baby.
Yes. See? Got it.
90s.
1 point for Minnie. Okay, Greg's turn next. You can't Google. Hands up. Hands up, Greg. Hands up.
1970s child. Give me heck says haircut. Heck no, grow it long. Buddy, this is as long as it gets for me.
All right, Greg. Hands up off the keyboard.
What are we doing? We're not doing
anything.
anything.
Who's gonna ask you a question? I'm gonna click on it. You have to answer it.
Who's gonna ask a question?
Somebody from the chat.
Okay. Why?
Because this is trivia. Husker trivia.
Greggle glasses. I like it. I'll just be able to greggle inside my eyeballs and not get yelled at. Show.
Husker Chuck, you are a freak. If you think I can do that, this is not happening. Okay, we have.
The other one, I know. I don't know one of those, but I could tell you the other ones. So, or the
I can't even add. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Hands up. I'm going to click on the question. Greg, okay. Hands up. Thank you.
I mean, you can't see it in my face that if I'm
your other hand up too. There you go.
This is the oddest hand check in the world. Like, what are we doing?
What number did Coach Osborne wear in college?
I don't know. Do you know what college he went to? Because I at least know that.
No.
He went to Hastings College. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you the number.
Whoa, this is insane. You guys, I can't believe you actually know this. 31. Red Sacco. That is incredible.
Kenny, Mike Rozier is 30. Johnny the Jet Rogers was 20, and Eric Crouch was 7. So, see, I got you, Kenny.
You guys are amazing.
So,
yeah.
What number did whom wear in the NFL? Tom Osborne? Why are we? This is not a fun game.
This is a horrible game. Greg, you and I should not be on the same trivia team. This is what I learned.
Well, that's okay.
Unless it's about movies, then I'll take you as my partner.
Movies or music, I can do all right, unless the music is from the last 20 years or so, because that movie's shit. Or I mean, that music is shit. So,
Greg, keep your opinions to yourself.
Okay.
You might actually be like offending other people that share the screen with you.
Talking about music from the last 20 years is shit?
Yeah, I like new music. I love it, actually.
Well, it's just my opinion.
It is.
You can have your opinion.
It is just your opinion.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Husker Chuck says the Michigan game seems like one of those threshold wins, the kind we haven't won in a while.
It is. Yeah, we need that. He's right. We need it. We need it. And you know what it's going to feel like when we beat them?
Awesome.
Can I just tell you? It's going to feel like we're stomping down on their throats and not letting them up for breath.
Yep.
That's going to feel good.
I think I don't want to put too much on it because, the most important game is the next one.
Yes.
I don't know. Is it too hyperbolic to say that the entire season hinges on that game? Like how we view the season after that fourth game will be determined by the outcome of that fourth game?
No, been there, done that. We've definitely had. Yeah. No, don't say that, Greg.
Okay.
Even if we win, that doesn't guarantee us anything.
Right. I agree. Husker Chuck says, easy question for Minnie. What year did Nebraska last fail to sell out Memorial Stadium?
Husker Chuck. Can I get any hints?
I want to say, was it 62? It's 61 or 62, I think. I'm probably wrong for those.
It was before he was born, so it was in the 1800s.
62. Boom.
Kidding.
What? Can't he say 64?
Kidding, Husker Chuck.
Kaylee says they only mention it every football game. Wow. Thanks, Kaylee.
Yeah.
Some of us are paying attention to what's going on the field. Sometimes
Some of us are paying attention to what they're wearing, what the football players are wearing, and who's. Yeah.
Some of us can't hear the TV because the youngsters running around the room are creating chaos. All right, let's see here. Nebraska Rascal says Minnesota is one of those games we need to win. So embarrassing to keep losing to PJ Fleck. I agree. Yeah. Tony, if you're still here, I apologize.
The thing about Minnesota is they're pretty consistent. I hate them. I don't hate you, Tony. I just hate every other Minnesota fan.
He gave up on us.
Okay, if you rewatch this part, I don't hate you, but Minnesota's pretty consistent. We need to be that consistent and better. It's funny because we look at that and we're like, ew, Minnesota, yuck. Who wants to be like them? We haven't been that good in years. So let's not look down our nose.
I mean, I'm still going to look down my nose at Minnesota.
Okay.
We were talking about music and my opinions. And Josh says, yeah, Greg, keep your opinions to yourself. You can't give opinions on a podcast, show, YouTube video. Facts only, please. Sorry.
Okay, Josh.
Roger Moore wants to know if there are any uniform changes this year. To my knowledge,
I hope not.
No. And if there is an alternate uniform, we usually don't hear about it, I don't think, until July. Maybe mistaken on that. So, yeah, we'll just hope that they just keep it. If it's, I don't ever want to see all surrender whites again, ever. I wouldn't mind seeing all red, but that'd be it. No.
Why are you guys doing this to me? Is it time to end the show yet? They
Apparently.
keep throwing hard questions at me.
Yeah, I get you, Husker truck, right there. Anything but all surrender whites. So
I actually like the white uniforms.
Statistically, they're not our friends.
I don't care. Should we just stop doing everything we've done for the last decade? Because
no, I mean like historically beyond the last decade.
Okay,
like,
well, I'm just saying, like, let's just stop. Oh, I have an idea. Let's move the team outside of Nebraska. There's some things we can't not hold on to. Never change the N.
Since 1970, while wearing the surrender whites.
Did you just Greggle this?
I did. Nebraska is 7-14. Now I venture to say that half of those 14 losses have happened in the last 15 years.
Well, it's because we haven't had a very good team.
Yeah, but it's also because we show up and we surrender. That's why they're called the surrender whites.
Yeah, well, we haven't had a very good team.
Just saying.
I'm just saying. We're not giving up.
Both things can be true, Minnie.
Okay, fine. Greg.
Carl gets it. Surrender whites are horrible.
Huh.
Minnie, what Husker receiver caught a ball behind his back? This would be at the beginning of your fandom, I believe. Maybe right before your fandom.
Was it Boodle? Dwight Boodle? Was it?
I don't think Dwight Boodle played much for Nebraska because he transferred out. DiCaprio Boodle was a defensive back.
Westerkamp?
Jordan Westerkamp, or as he became known for his tremendous catches, Jordan Westercatch. So
I don't even know if I saw a game with him catching it behind his back. What game was that?
It was the first game of the season. I don't remember what year. Maybe I don't think it was BYU. Doggone it. I don't remember that one.
Greg, you don't know?
Yeah, sorry.
See, you guys love to do this to me. That's a classic. Sorry. I'll look it up. I promise. Okay. That's my heart.
Florida Atlantic.
Going on my sticky. Catch behind back.
Yeah.
You guys have no idea how much homework I do because of the chat. Not only are you guys giving me homework right now, but after the show, I'll go through and I'll watch the show only to have the chat so I can read the chat. And then I screenshot things I don't know that you're talking about. And then I go and look it up.
So I just put the link in the comments to the catch.
This is the reason I've watched 8 seasons of The Sopranos. Because there were so many Soprano references.
Yep.
In the chat that I'm like, all right, I gotta know what these guys are talking about. So I spent my valuable time and watched 8 seasons of The Sopranos. So I know what you guys are talking about. I don't mess around.
Roger Moore also wants you to watch the Westerkamp Hail Mary catch.
I have Westerkamp on here. Catch behind the back. Now I have to do Hail Mary. Got it.
Hail Mary was a game-winning Hail Mary catch against Northwestern, and the quarterback was Ron Kellogg III.
Was it 6 seasons? It felt like it was 20. This is the world's longest show ever. You realize I watched it like 20 years after the fact.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when Sopranos ended. Didn't it end in 08 or 09? Or was it before that?
I think it was like 08.
Take it. I'm right there with 1970s child. I got it right that time. Never seen The Sopranos.
Well, I'm not sure how you survived the chat because for a long time that's all they talked about.
Nah, I mean, on occasion I'll just tune them out.
I felt like an outsider. I have FOMO. If you guys haven't realized that, like I have serious FOMO. I have to know, what are they talking about? What do they mean?
I've been there. There are some books and things that are in my library that I have picked up just because of hearing about it on other shows that I listened to. Or listened to back in the day. So, yeah, all good. Josh is coming here. I like the whole comment, but I'm focusing on the latter half. He says, "F the surrender whites." Also, is everyone a little snarky and angry tonight?
I am. Yeah, I want to fight.
Who, me? Or Josh?
No, I am.
Did you say you want to? Did you ask if anybody wants to fight?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was asking. Me or Josh?
I'll fight anybody.
Oh shit. Okay.
Kind of have it out for you tonight, Greg. Just kidding.
1970s child says, "I'm kind of a newbie to this coronation show. Welcome, and we apologize." Is about all I can say.
Yes.
But we're happy you're here, truly. And it does not, Fred, I can assure you. Oh, yeah, here we go. Fred says that Minnie's Walgreens white wine is definitely kicking in.
I should go get some.
I mean, you have crates, you were saying, so.
Bottles. I bought bottles.
Right.
It was like this off the shelf.
Right.
I'm like, come to mama.
And it only costs you $27.
It was insane. Honestly, I think it was like 50 some.
That was the milk, because you said that the milk
the milk was $5.09. Okay, the milk I paid more. I paid more for a thing of milk than I did a bottle of wine.
That's a good trade. But the real question is, how much are you paying for a dozen eggs down there in the desert?
Oh, they're so expensive. They're like $10.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's rough. I've been fortunate. I think the last time I got eggs, which was last grocery store trip.
Do we have to talk about grocery shopping?
We don't have to. I'm just trying to get us to our 2-hour mark, but we can wrap up the show early.
Talking about grocery shopping is like painful.
It's only painful when you try to take all 3 of my boys to the grocery store at the same time, because
that's actually more entertaining.
That cart gets filled up fast.
Take my mind off of the other stuff. I'd be like, yes, wreak havoc, boys.
They do on my wallet.
And I'd be like, let them loose in the fresh produce section.
Oh gosh, no. All right.
Like, go find a ripe one.
Anything else tonight, Minnie? We've I think definitely covered all of our topics and then some. So another question for Minnie. Most points scored in one game by Nebraska post WW2.
This is so not fair. These questions are painful. Hey, Husker Chuck, I have an idea. Maybe you should give me like an answer list before the show? Please. 84. 80 freaking 4 points. Are you kidding me right now?
And it was against Minnesota.
When?
Husker Chuck says 84-13.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
I'm not going to Greggle. They said it's Minnesota. They'll have to tell you the year.
1983.
1983.
Huh.
And Roger was at that game.
Oh my gosh. Minnesota blitzed every game.
Dustin says, I just realized Minnie stands the entire show. That's her own fault.
Yeah, I do. Because otherwise, I get like really stiff. I gotta like move around.
Just
what?
Relax, Fred.
My shoulders, they get stiff.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for this. Fred says Minnie gets stiff without Blue Chew.
Oh, I get it now. There we go. There we go. I'll look for that interview. Writing it down on my notes, Ken. More homework. I'm impressed. Thank you for teaching me this. You know, I'll watch that 1983 game where we beat the snot out of Minnesota.
And next week you can come back with a nice history report on Nebraska football.
I can't report anything because they already know it.
No, but it's good to hear it in your words. A classic retelling in your own words. It's not it's not a report. It's a reboot. It's a remake. It's Minnie telling us the stories in her own words.
Okay, I'll do that. I will. Just be
Husker
ready.
Chuck says to look at the scores from the entire 1983 season. So.
Okay, Husker Chuck. Thank you.
All right. Well, that will do it for this episode of the Five Heart Podcast. We really appreciate all of you joining us here this Thursday night. We look forward to hanging out with you again next week. Make sure that you join Coordination, particularly Minnie, Monday night for Monday Night Therapy with her special guest, who she is not revealing, but you will find out Monday with the little teaser video that gets published. And then on Tuesday, there'll be Husker Heat. And then right back here next Thursday night at 9 o'clock Central for another brand new Five Heart Podcast. Again, we know that you have plenty of entertainment options, and we sure are glad that you choose us. And it's quite the community, this fan family that we have here, and we enjoy spending time with you, and hopefully you enjoy spending time or throwing things at us, whichever. We're fine. So for my wonderful friend, Minnie Hunt, I'm Greg Mahochko. This is the Five Heart Podcast, reminding you each and every week that Five Heart is all the heart you need. Minnie?
Little Red says, "Go Big Red!"
The views and opinions expressed by Little Red are solely those of Little Red and do not represent the Five Heart Podcast, Coordination.com, or any of its subsidiaries. Damn that Little Red.
He's cute. You're jealous.
Yeah.